In this sublesson, we're going to create a funnel chart, and then we're going to go through the process of formatting a funnel chart. So once again, let's go ahead and get the supporting file opened for this particular sublesson. Give it a moment. Okay, so let's go and start building our funnel chart out here now that we've got the Power BI desktop open. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go over to my visualizations pane here once again. Let's zoom in and actually show you the different visuals here. So what I'm going to do here is click on this one that looks like a little funnel, like so. And what that's going to do once again is stick a blank visualization on our page like so. And then what I'm going to do is actually I'm just going to take that visual and move it over to here roughly. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And we can see as we're actually bringing this visual in, there are lines that are showing up. So on the right hand side, you're going to see a dotted line. This is actually showing me how these visualizations are actually lining up. So this is really nice to keep your visuals looking nice and clean and aligned with each other. These are just some of the cues that are going to help you move throughout the entire process. Okay, so now that we have that built out, let's go through the process of adding some data into our visualization. So I'm just going to move some of these items over a bit just so we can see all the field names a little bit easier as we're going through and picking them out. So the first table that I want to go to is the product table. So I'm going to open that up. And what I want to do is open up the product hierarchy because the field that I'm actually going to bring in here is the actual product name. So if I just open this up a little bit, we can see the product name is here and it is part of the hierarchy. So now just a reminder that we did have it as part of the main table, but back in the modeling section, we actually turned it off so it wasn't visible in report view. So the only place we can actually see the product name is in the actual product hierarchy. So what we're going to do here is take the product name, drag it over here into group. And what we're going to see happen is the entire hierarchy comes. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to go ahead and turn the levels off that are above the name just by clicking the X's over here like so, and the category. And that's just going to leave us with the name part of the product hierarchy. Okay, so next what we're going to do is I'm going to close the product table up here. I'm going to go back down to my sales table and we're going to grab our total sales here. So I'm going to grab total sales and we're going to drag it into the values well right here. And now we're going to see that we get a funnel chart drawn out with all of the products that we have ranked from top to bottom based on total sales. Okay, so that's not a very meaningful visual at this point in time. So what we're going to do is we are just going to go in and open up the filters pane. So I can see here just by accident my formula bar is overwriting my filters pane. So I'm just going to click in the canvas here like so, and that'll usually get rid of the formula bar there. And now I can actually open my filters pane up by clicking that arrow right there, which opens the pane. Okay, so now what I need to do here is go back to my funnel chart and make sure it has focus by clicking in a blank space here. And next what we're going to do is we're going to actually add a filter to this visualization so that we can see the top 5 products by product name based on sales. Okay, so what we're going to do here is in the filters pane, we can see there is a section here called filters on this visual and product name. So keeping in mind all of the fields that you bring into the visualization are going to be made available in the filters on this visual. I'm just going to go ahead and click this little drop down box. And what we're going to see here is on the product name, there's a number of different filter types. So what I'm going to do here is click the drop down box right here. And I'm going to choose top N because I want to do a top 5 of the products. So what I can do here is take a look down. I can see it says show items by top. Now I could actually go to the bottom if I want to see the bottom items. I could do that. But in this exercise, I want to go ahead and do the top. So I'm just going to go top 5. And what I want to do here is I want to see the top 5 by total sales. So what I'm going to have to do here is drag this total sales from the fields pane over here into the by value like so. And now what this is going to say is I want to see the top 5 products by total sales. The last thing we have to do here is there's this little apply filter tag right here. If I just go ahead and click on that, now we're going to see in the visualization that the filtering has taken hold and now the filter is applied and we can see the top 5 products ranked by total sales. Okay, so that's looking good here. So maybe we'll just kind of show you some of the features of this funnel chart, which are quite nice. So I'm just going to zoom back in here on the visualization so we can see this a little bit easier. And if I just hover over top any of these bars here, we're going to see that a tool tip pops up. And we can see the product name, the total sales, and some other information there called percentage of first. So since I highlighted on the first bar, it's 100% of itself. If I move down to the second bar here, we can see that we've got all the same information as before, except now we've got the percentage of first and the percentage of previous. So the funnel chart is a great way for doing comparisons to something previous and your first value. So if I go like this, I can move down to the third and I can see what percentage this one is of the very first one and the neighbor, which was the previous one. So really interesting information that we can get off of this particular chart here. So what I'm going to do here next is we're actually just going to go in and start working on formatting this actual visualization itself. So I'm just going to zoom back out like so. And now let's go and start working on our formatting. Okay, so I don't need my filters pane open anymore, so I'm just going to go ahead and close that. And once again, the visual still has focus, so I always want to be paying attention to that to make sure it has focus. And now what we're going to do is go to the visualizations pane and move off of the fields and over into format. So I'm going to click on format here. And what we're going to do first is actually go in and modify the title here. So I'm just going to open this up. And I want to change this to total sales by, what do we want to change this to? Let's say total sales by product name. That's actually not a bad title. Let's just go ahead and leave that. So I'm just going to move that into the middle. Once again, make sure I'm happy with my font size and I'm keeping it consistent. So the font size of the previous title was 14. It's black, it's centered. So we're starting to get some consistency in our visualizations already. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do here is I'm just going to close the title card up, go up to my general, and let's just make sure we get this position exactly where we want it. So I'm going to say 654. The Y position will be 394, like so. The width will be 584, which, oh look, I actually got 584 when I did my placement. And the height, we're going to here make it 254, like so. Okay, so now we've got the visualization position exactly where we want it on the canvas here. Things are lined up nicely with the previous visual. We've got some standardization. You can see that the theme file we imported earlier is influencing the default colors that are showing on the visualization. So we're already well on our way to building some visuals that look standardized, nice, and clean. Okay, and that actually brings us to the end of this particular sublesson.